There's something magical about a summer night in the 1950s. The air smells like cut grass and popcorn. The sun's just dipping behind the trees. And the crickets are tuning up, and out past the edge of town, where the streetlights end and the stars begin, a giant movie screen flickers to life. This wasn't just a place to watch a film. It was an experience, a ritual, a date under stars, a family tradition. The drive-in theater was more than entertainment. It was a way of life. Today, we're looking back at 10 drive-in culture trends that defined the 1950s, the golden age of popcorn, parking, and picture shows under the open sky. Car hop, your server on roller skates. Back in the 50s, you didn't have to leave your car to get a milkshake. Enter the car hop, usually a teenager in a crisp uniform, rolling up on roller skates with a tray hooked to your window. She'd take your order with a smile, maybe flirt a little with the high school boys, and zip off to the snack bar. These young workers were the heartbeat of the drive-in. They balanced trays of burgers, fries, and soda while gliding between rows of parked cars. Some even had special trays with clips to hold the food steady. It was more than a job, it was a rite of passage. For teens, it was their first taste of independence. For families, it felt like being waited on like royalty. But as fast food chains grew and labor costs rose, the car hop began to fade. By the 1970s, most drive-ins switched to walk-up stands or in-car ordering systems. The skates were hung up for good. Still, if you close your eyes, you can almost hear the squeak of wheels on asphalt and the cheerful, "Here's your order," folks. The drive-in speaker. Before car radios could sync with the movie, you needed a speaker. Big, boxy, and bright silver. It clamped onto your car window like a metal ear. You'd turn the knob, tune into the right frequency, and suddenly, music, dialogue, laughter, all pouring into your front seat. These speakers were a marvel of simple tech. No Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, just a wire and a speaker. But they brought the sound to life in a personal way. You weren't just watching a movie. You were in it, cocooned in your car with a story playing just for you. Families would pass the speaker from window to window, so kids in the back could hear. Some even brought blankets and pillows, turning their sedan into a cozy bedroom under the stars. Eventually, FM radio built into cars made the clunky speakers obsolete. By the 1980s, most drive-ins switched to broadcasting on radio frequencies. The old silver speakers? Now they're collector's items, little pieces of movie magic. Double features under the stars. One movie wasn't enough. At the drive-in, you got two, sometimes even three. Films for the price of one. A typical night might start with a Western, then a sci-fi B-movie, and maybe a cartoon for kids. This was a golden age of B-movies. Creatures from outer space, rebellious teens, and monsters stomping through cities. Drive-ins loved them because they were cheap to license and packed with thrills. Parents could enjoy the main feature, while kids dozed off during the second. Or couples could stay for both, holding hands in the dark, lost in the story. Double features faded as studios focused on big-budget blockbusters, and drive-ins struggled to stay open. But for a while, two movies for one price felt like the best deal in town. The baby stroller screen. Ever try to keep a toddler quiet during a movie? In the 1950s, drive-ins had a clever solution: the baby stroller screen. Near the back of the lot, there was often a second, smaller screen aimed low to the ground. Moms would park nearby, let the little ones play in the grass, and still catch the movie. It was a genius idea, giving families freedom to relax without disturbing others. Some drive-ins even had playgrounds or picnic areas. It wasn't just about the film, it was about togetherness. As urban sprawl grew and land became expensive, these family-friendly extras were the first to go. But for a moment, the drive-in was a place where even the youngest moviegoers were welcome. The make-out reputation. Let's be honest, not everyone went to the drive-in for the movie. For teenagers, it was the perfect spot to sneak away from prying eyes. With the lights off and the screen glowing, parked cars became private worlds. A kiss, a first date, a whispered secret. The drive-in was where young love bloomed under stars. Some theaters even had rules. No parking in the back rows, no reclining seats after 9 p.m. but teens found ways around them. This reputation made some families nervous, and over time, it hurt the image of drive-ins. But for a generation, it was just part of growing up, a little rebellion, a little romance, all under the cover of darkness. The drive-in church. Sunday mornings at the drive-in? That's right. Some theaters doubled as open-air churches. Families would park, roll down their windows, and listen to a preacher over the speaker. Hymns played through the static, and people sang along from their cars. Some even brought lawn chairs and set up in the back. It was practical. No need to dress up, no crying babies in pews, and fresh air instead of stained glass. But as churches built bigger buildings and drive-ins declined, this quiet tradition vanished. Still, it's a sweet reminder of how communities used what they had to stay close. And close to faith. The snack bar menu. Forget fancy gourmet popcorn. The drive-in snack bar was all about simple, greasy comfort. Burgers, hot dogs, fries, and thick milkshakes in paper cups. The smell of frying onions and sizzling meat would drift across the lot, making your stomach growl even before the movie started. And the prices? $0.25 for a burger, 35 cents for a shake. For many kids, the snack bar was a highlight. It was fast food before fast food chains ruled every corner. But as chains like McDonald's opened 24/7, the little drive-in stands couldn't compete. The fries got soggy, the grills got cold, and the magic faded. The projector booth on a tower, towering above the parking lot, like a lighthouse of movies, stood the projector booth, perched high on a steel frame. It blinked with light and hummed with machinery. Inside, a lone projectionist threaded reels by hand, changing films between shows. One mistake, and the movie would jam or burn. It was a skilled job, part engineer, part magician. Kids would stare up at that glowing box, wondering how pictures flew through the air and landed on the giant screen. As digital projectors arrived and drive-ins closed, the lonely booth became a ghost of the past. But for those who remember, it was the heart of the whole operation. The All-Ages Hangout. Unlike regular theaters, drive-ins welcomed everyone. Babies in strollers, grandparents in the back seat, dogs tied to bumpers. If you had a car, you had a seat. It was one of the few places where generations mixed naturally. Grandpa might grumble about the noise, but he'd still eat a hot dog and watch the stars. This sense of community made the drive-in more than entertainment. It was a social club with a screen, but as suburbs grew and entertainment moved indoors, that shared space disappeared. We got bigger TVs, but smaller connections. The bumper-to-bumper parking. In the 1950s, drive-ins weren't just full, they were packed. Cars lined up for blocks, waiting to get in. Once inside, they parked bumper to bumper, like a metal quilt spread across a field. You'd wave to neighbors, shout across cars, share popcorn with the family next to you. Strangers became friends for a night. But as land values rose and cities expanded, that wide open space became too valuable to waste on movies. Shopping centers, housing, and highways took over. Today, fewer than 300 drive-ins remain in the U.S. But for those who remember, the sight of hundreds of cars, all facing one screen, was pure Americana. The drive-in may not be what it once was, but the memories still play on. The laughter, the first dates, the smell of popcorn in the summer air, they're all still there, just beyond the glow of the screen. If you ever got to go to drive-in as a kid, if you remember leaning your head back, watching a movie float among the stars, we'd love to hear your story. Drop a comment below and share your favorite memory. And if you love stories like this one, hit that like button, subscribe to Nostalgic America, and join us every week as we travel back to simpler times, one memory at a time. Until next time, keep looking up at the stars.